Psoriatic arthritis, getting to the true root cause. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. I'm a board certified chiropractic neurologist. I've been in private practice in Appleton, Wisconsin since 1983. So 39 years of experience behind me. And I want to talk to you about the true root cause of not only psoriatic arthritis, but any autoimmune condition. And I'll tell you what it is right up front. It's iron dysregulation. Usually in the form of iron overload. You've got too much iron stored in your system. And you can test it by getting a simple ferritin test. $29 is what we charge. And you want your ferritin between 20 and 50. If it's above 50, that's some serious iron overload. My ferritin, when I first checked it, 365. I've seen it as high as 1300. I can promise you, if you have an autoimmune condition, you've got some iron dysregulation going on, because less than 20, it's called iron dysregulation. It's off. It's skewed. You can say, well, how does this happen? Well, think about it. From the time you're a little kid eating cereal, those cereal boxes, anything in a box, anything packaged is either iron fortified or iron enriched. That's what they call it. Your breads and pastas, iron enriched. Anything packaged or processed, all iron enriched or iron fortified. Plus, you're just getting iron from beef and turkey and spinach and broccoli from the food you eat. Taking a multiple vitamin, you're getting iron, too much iron. And it stores in your system and causes havoc. It causes problems. I'll show you the problems that it causes and as it relates to psoriatic arthritis. So here's the symptoms. Inflammation. That's huge with psoriatic arthritis or any condition. Numbness, tiredness, fatigue, weakness, weight loss or gain, abdominal pain, high blood sugar levels, hyperpigmentation of the skin or bronzing, loss of sex drive, reduced size of testicles in males. In females, reduced or absent menstruation, chronic pain, arthritis, liver disease, cirrhosis, enlargement of the liver, diabetes, severe thyroid disorders, heart disease, pancreatitis, high cholesterol, we'll talk about that, cancer. Folks, if you Google high iron and cancer, you're going to see if you've got iron overload, you're headed down the road to cancer. I'll guarantee it. I mean, Dr. Google's right on that one. Stroke, kidney disease, and lung disease. Well, how do I get this test? You can just Google, order my own lab near me. Order my own lab near me. Just request a ferritin test. Like I said, we charge $29. Other places maybe $39 or $49. And there are people out there saying, oh, you need a complete iron panel. You need a magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. That's $200, $250. People don't want to spend that just to see if they have a problem with iron. But a ferritin test, yeah, get it done. And I'll give you the names of local labs. You can just Google. Request a test, any lab test now, walk-in lab, Quest Direct, LabCorp on Demand, Direct Labs. So those are the labs. Yeah. And just get the test done. Like I said, when I first did my ferritin test, it was $365. And I'll give you my health history. I have a lot of things going on. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's in 2008. In 2009, I was diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and MS. MS is a autoimmune disorder. Stem cell therapy helped me. It didn't help everybody, but it helped me. Then a few months ago, January of 2022, I had a severe gallbladder attack, emergency gallbladder surgery. I also had pneumonia. So they had to give me Lasix to get the fluid off my lungs before the surgery. And that caused severe heart failure and severe kidney failure. So I'm living this, and I'm happy to tell you my kidneys are back and my heart is probably 80% back. I get blood work done every month. I'm checking this. My ferritin level has gone from 365 to 298, and we're working on getting it lower. Next week, I'll be doing another ferritin test along with a couple other tests that were positive. My point is, what I'm talking to you about, I'm living. Well, let's talk about cholesterol, because everybody and their uncle's on statins. Some of these MDs want to put statins in the water like fluoride, which is insane. So when iron is high, magnesium is low. When magnesium levels are low, the enzyme that creates cholesterol, the HMG coenzyme A, goes into overdrive and creates excess cholesterol. So all you need to do to lower cholesterol is handle this iron overload. Because stress can cause high iron and low magnesium in your body. And not just emotional stress, but environmental stress, chemicals, heavy metals, poor diet. So that'll drive up your cholesterol. You need cholesterol, folks. You need it for your brain. You need it to insulate your nerves. You need cholesterol to make hormones. This is epidemic. All these males out there are taking these statins, and it's driving down their testosterone, so this low T syndrome is everywhere. Talk about a recipe for cancer. Aging is iron oxidation. It's rust due to too much iron in your system inside the mitochondria, which stops the production of ATP. ATP is the energy-carrying molecule in the cell. This is the cellular event that causes aging. Well, let's look at my blood work. So here's what we do. You run a ferritin test. It's positive. I'm 365. All right, then I run an iron panel and a magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. Oh, here's all the abnormals because that ferritin skews them. Then we run complete blood work. A complete metabolic panel, a lipid panel, a thyroid panel because thyroid drives your metabolism, and a CBC with autodifferential, breaking down the red and white blood cells. Finally, you run a genetic test. Why genetic testing? Because genetic SNPs, also known as variations, also known as mutations, can cause issues that you're not even aware of. So you can't leave any stone unturned. I've been consulting with doctors since 2006, and I've used that phrase since I started practice in 1983. So here's my iron panel along with the magnesium, zinc, and copper. And if you notice, first thing, my serum ferritin is 365. So that just skews everything. Everything's off. But especially here, vitamin A. Vitamin A should be 3 times what your vitamin D is. And mine is the exact opposite. My vitamin D is 3 times what my vitamin A. My vitamin D is 94.5. My vitamin A was 35.3. So this can lead to food allergies, skin conditions, a decreased immune response, autoimmune conditions, other autoimmune conditions, and kidney stones. Well, I just had kidney stone surgery last week. This is why. The urologist says, oh, we'll probably see you back in 7 years. I'm like, the hell you will. I know how to fix it now. I mix it up with my urologist. But he's a good guy. He really is. But I mix it up with all the MDs. I don't care. They don't like that I call them out on their stuff. Pretty basic. I mean, why aren't MDs looking at iron overload? I'll tell you why. There's no drug to fix it. If there was a drug to fix it, like a statin, everybody would be getting that drug. Because iron overload is epidemic. Or I should say iron dysregulation, because it could be less than 20. So you have the ferritin test, you have the iron panel, you have the magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. You need complete blood work, like I said, which is a complete metabolic panel. You want to look at glucose. Why glucose? Because your brain and nerves need 2 things to survive: fuel and activation. Fuel is glucose and oxygen. You want to look at gut function. 80% of your immune system is in your gut. You want to look at adrenal function. Your adrenal glands are your stress glands. You want to look at kidney function and liver function. You want a complete lipid panel, looking at your cholesterol, triglycerides. Cholesterol HDL ratio shows us you're at risk for suffering a heart attack. HDL, LDL. You want a CBC with auto diff. This breaks down the red and white blood cells. And yes, if you're anemic, don't take more iron. That's a problem with vitamin A and an iron storage issue. I can't tell you how many people that are anemic and their ferritin is off the charts. Well, you need a complete thyroid panel, and you want to look at inflammation. Remember I said that was the first thing that iron overload caused, so C-reactive protein and homocysteine. And coming back to anemia, it amazes me how I have anemia. And, medical doctors said, well, just take some iron. You're actually making the problem worse because you have an iron storage issue. Iron should be circulating in your system. If you're anemic, it's not. So you need to get that iron storage out of your tissues. And there are ways to do that. Well, when you have complete blood work, you get this booklet back. I mean, literally, it is a booklet. But what we do is we put it into our database. Makes it a lot easier. So there's lab ranges that are very broad. There's functional ranges that are narrower. The red is the abnormal. Yellow is abnormal. This is my blood work when I got out of the hospital. You can see that I was a train wreck. So let me give you an example. Lab range for your AST and ALT, which is your liver enzymes, 0 to 40. And ideal functional range would be 16 to 26. You could even go to 10 to 26. Well, remember I talked about genetic testing, and this is huge. I mean, this is the really holy grail of what's going on. Because, here, you can have iron issues. It can combine with hydrogen peroxide to create a hydroxyl radical, which is extremely toxic. It's called a Fenton reaction. So you could also have glutamate issues, histamine, mold, homocysteine, dopamine, sulfites, something called an NAD pH steel. So you want to check for these genetic SNPs, also called variations or mutations. I don't care what you call it. You don't want to leave any stone unturned because genetic variations can affect inflammation, detox pathways, brain chemicals, hormone levels, organ function, and vitamin and mineral levels. So that is vital. And when I first started in genetic testing, 2013, 2014, I worked with Dr. Kendall Stewart. He's a physician in Texas. And Dr. Ben Lynch is a naturopath up in the northwest corner of the country. Dr. Mark Harris is a brilliant physician. And now I have a good friend of mine, Dr. Joel Rosen, the adrenal ninja, who said, you got to come back and look at what Dr. Bob Miller's doing. And he's doing some great stuff. He really is. So, yeah, I always want to give credit where credit is due. A couple of books that I highly recommend. Rick Malter, PhD, Strands of Health, talks about hair tissue mineral analysis. Morley Robbins, Cure Your Fatigue. Excellent book, excellent information. I disagree with him. He does a cookie cutter approach. With the genetic testing, you can't do that. It has to be individualized. No two people. You can have two people with psoriatic arthritis. They could be twins, but their genetic makeup is not the same, even though they're twins. So Morley Robbins, yeah, I disagree with him on a couple of things, but for the most part, great book. I just don't like the cookie cutter approach. I think he should be supporting the mitochondria nutritionally a little bit more, but he does excellent work with explaining mitochondria in the book. And he's not big on using zinc or calcium. Sometimes the patient may need that. So that's where we disagree. Finally, Dr. Robert Selig, great friend of mine down in Chicago. I call him the master of minerals, literally. Great guy. Well, about this time, you could be saying, all right, how do I know if this is going to work for me? Well, get a simple ferritin test. Go to any lab test now, 29 bucks. That's what we charge, 49 bucks, whatever, and get the lab test done. And that's the starting point. If it's above 50, you've got iron overload. Below 20, you've got iron dysregulation. If it's normal and you still have symptoms, then you need to really look at the genetics. You really do, because that's the key. Well, will this work for other conditions? I don't care what the chronic condition is, folks. You've got to have normal ferritin levels. You've got to have that between 20 and 50. So I don't care if you have other autoimmune conditions. I don't care if you have neurological conditions. I don't care if you have chronic pain syndromes. These are all things medicine really stinks at. Medicine does a great job with acute care. Heart attacks, broken bones, strokes. But they're horrible when it comes to chronic conditions. Horrible. Chronic autoimmune, chronic neurological, chronic pain. The last question I get is how long and how much? Well, this is an investment in your health. And that's the way you have to look at it. So we offer financing, so the vast majority of people can swing it. We go 12, 18, and 24-month programs. 12 months is $11,995. 18 months is $14,995. And 24 months is $19,995. And we do offer financing. Most people qualify. We help a lot of people. So, if there's a big if, and I'll tell you why, you would like to see if you can qualify to be a patient, you can email me at drmlj83@gmail.com. Why do I say if you qualify as a patient? I've had some autoimmune patients, they don't want to change their lifestyle. They eat like crap all the time, 12-pack of Diet Mountain Dew a day. They're eating junk food all day long. They won't change their diet. Got to eat a lot of fresh vegetables, fruits, good quality meat, grass-fed beef. You got to make some changes. You got to make some lifestyle changes. If you smoke, I won't accept you. I won't accept you as a patient because you're not taking your health seriously. I mean, and I've had COPD patients tell me they're going to quit smoking and they never do. And I get it. Quitting smoking is tough, but yeah, you've got to have quit smoking for at least 6 months. And even then it's tough for people. So share this video with your friends, family, social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe it. Again, my email, any questions, drmlj83@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to helping you in the future.